Guy Whalen, are you on 12345? Guy, if you are trying to reply to me, you're unreadable. Click your microphone twice if you're on 12345. Gotcha. All I'm getting is static, no voice. You're a little bit faster than I am.
Although it was a little disappointing not to be able to communicate back and forth with Guy Whalen, we continued on heading west, crossed over the town of Mendon, and then began climbing up over the eastern foothills of the Wellsville mountain range. Oh my, the colors! In a few places it became a little bit rough up there. When you're flying over this kind of terrain, any breezes across the countryside tend to bob up and down and make some little waves in the air. But it wasn't uncomfortable, wasn't scary. But my poor engine was working awfully hard, trying to climb fast enough to stay above the rising elevation. Just being able to see this kind of thing for myself. Ah, how lucky, 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 lucky I am. But then again, it has taken quite a bit of hard work to get here. Learning to fly way back in the days when almost every airplane dragged its tail. It's been a long time. But I sure treasure every hour that I've been able to record in my logbook. Wow. Wow. It was interesting that as I was doing a little research for this video, I found an item on Google Maps pointing out what is labeled as largest big-tooth maple. Now, I don't know whether it's the largest big-tooth maple in the world or just in Utah or what, but in a moment here we're going to come to a little bit of a clearing that's been carved out of the mountainside up here. And you'll notice two large trees standing alone in that meadow. According to the Google map, the one that's a little farther away from the camera here, the one on the right side, is supposed to be the largest big-tooth maple. Okay. The lower slopes of the Wellsville Mountains are covered with big-tooth maples. They apparently are the ones that are red in this video. I was surprised by the intricate number of side canyons and side peaks here, like this one just ahead of us. I've hiked into the Wellsville Mountains, but it's an entirely different perspective to see it from the air. You might hear that the Wellsville Mountains are the steepest mountains in the world. That's a story that I've heard many times. So I did a little research on that too and found that the Wellsville Mountains are 22 miles long but only 5 miles wide at their base. They gain 4,500 feet in elevation. Box Elder Peak reaches an elevation of 9,372 feet. Geographers at Utah State University tell us that they can't really say for sure that the Wellsvilles are the steepest mountains on Earth, but it is likely that they are the steepest in all of North America. They're unique in that they have faults on both sides. Most fault block mountains have faults on only one side. Anyway, these steep mountains make for some spectacular scenery, and birds, hawks and eagles especially, enjoy soaring on updrafts along the sides of this range. And, as you'll see in this video, some of the breezes out here became a little bit interesting for a powered parachute.
It's awfully rough right here, and my engine is getting too warm. I'm going to head down and possibly head back to the airport. Unless it cools down, I've been climbing pretty hard. This is the town of Wellsville coming up here, so we're just about to the mouth of Sardine Canyon.
I had put a little winter cover over a portion of my machine's radiator because I thought maybe the temperatures were getting cool enough that I needed it. Well, it turns out I didn't. My maximum engine coolant temperature is supposed to be 180 degrees, but at one point I was up near 200. A little bit too warm for comfort. So I throttled back, hoping that the burning less gasoline would help the engine cool down a little bit, but it didn't really. Temperatures were still staying uncomfortably warm. So I turned and headed back to the airport. I really didn't want to, but sometimes maybe discretion is better than valor. And honestly, I probably should not have flown over all those densely forested areas because there's no place there to land. It'd be a real interesting landing trying to land in the treetops. Anyway, we got back to the airport and Guy said he hadn't followed me all the way out there because he said, well, you're a little braver than I am. No, I think the proper word rather than braver is foolish. But dadgummit, sometimes you just have to make a judgment call, for better or for worse. Anyway, back to the airport. Oh my, what a memorable morning.
I don't see you anywhere. Are you up over the mountains or where?
Turns out he had been flying pretty much right on my 6, right behind my tail, which is one of the few blind spots we have in a powered parachute, directly behind us. Anyway, I got back to the airport and landed, and lo and behold, he came plunking in right behind me. Perfect end to a perfect day. Even made a reasonably good landing.